behalf of the Indonesian Heritage Society, I'd like to welcome you all. You're joining the third of 10 meetings of Meet the Makers sessions, and the IHS is very happy to be supporting Meet the Makers in this venture. I'm sure you'll enjoy today's exciting tour around the arts of the Dayak, and you will also know that you are helping these local artists who have found life very difficult during the pandemic. So just repeating the IHS's very warm welcome to everyone, let me hand you back to Chrissy from Meet the Makers. Please enjoy.
Thank you, Ms. Anne. From Meet the Makers, we will be hearing from Ms. Nia, one of the founders of Meet the Makers, a batik artist based in Yogyakarta. Please, Nia.
Good morning, Meet the Makers Kaleidoscope Changing webinar series. Thank you to the Indonesian Heritage Society for joining us in this initiative to support the continuing traditions of Indonesian culture, particularly in the field of craft as art.
The global pandemic has made annual fairs of Meet the Makers impossible for this year, and many artisans are struggling because of the impacts this has had on their craft. We hope that with these webinars, we can contribute to the lives and livelihoods of our partner artisans by continuing to honor their work through these talks. Please know that 100% of your contributions will go to the artisans themselves. We hope you enjoy the webinar. And as this is only the third we have done, please bear with us as we still are improving our systems. And now I introduce our moderator for today, Ms. Marlene Danusutejo. She's the director of, she's the director of marketing communications of Intercontinental Hotel, Jakarta Pondok Indah. She's a seasoned professional in the field of public relations. She's involved as well in the PR Association of Indonesia, Perhumas, and the Hotel PR Association. So I hand over to Ms. Marlene to moderate this webinar. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Chrissy. Can you hear my voice clearly? Yes? Right. Good afternoon, and thank you again for the nice introduction, Mbak Chrissy. And I would like to thank also the host, Indonesian Heritage Society, Meet the Makers, and the host for this wonderful opportunity. So again, selamat siang, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the webinar series. This is the number 3, entitled Nature and Art, Weaving Dayak Stories. First, I would like to, we have an excellent lineup of speakers today. We have Ibu Alti, Ibu Renya Altaria, or Ibu Alti of Crafts Kalimantan Network. And we also have Ibu Novia Sagita, a dedicated culture and environmentalist activist. And we have Ibu Nurhalisa, a very talented and well-known Dayak weaver. I will just read the program for today. So we will have the speakers will present their presentation, and we will see also some nice videos. And at the end of the program, we also will see a sneak preview of Dayak products. So please stay until the end. And after that, we will have the question and answer. So first up, I will introduce our first speaker, Ibu Novia Sagita, or we can also call her Ibu Novi for short. Yes, Ibu Novi. So Novi has spent the last 20 years focusing on community empowerment through themes of preserving cultural heritage and the environment. She was instrumental in establishing the Kapuas Raya Museum in Sintang district, West Kalimantan, through her work also with Kobus Foundation. At that time, she was collecting oral histories behind the textiles and studying the dyeing technique. She also had the opportunity to study museum preservation techniques at Denver University. In recent years, Ibu Novi has been active with her own organization, Yayasan Planet Indonesia, aimed to improve community well-being and environmental sustainability. So before we will hear from Ibu Novi, I believe we have a video to see. This video is made by Rekam Nusantara Foundation with documentary audiovisual unit in FIS, Indonesia Nature Film Society. So before your session started, perhaps we can see the video first, the video of natural dyes of Sintang, shall we?
Textiles using natural dyes need a long time to process and to fix the colour. They first of all need to collect the fruits, roots and leaves from the forest and then prepare them for dyeing the yarn. The first step in preparing the yarn is to strengthen it using natural oils. The natural oil comes from seeds, fruits, roots and animals. Noni roots are a major source of colour used in the production of Dayak textiles. The dark red themes come from these roots. The Dayak people work continuously until they get the desired colour. They create these themes or motifs by tying the yarns. This is the longest process in the weaving of these textiles.
Tujuan mengikat itu membuat motif. Kalau itu kita kerja sampingan bisa sampai 2 bulan baru selesai ngikat.
Weaving is the last step in the production of the Dayak textiles. The shuttle yarn acts as a unifier. Some may think that these textiles are expensive, but it is all relative when we consider the skill, time and hard work that goes into the production of one of these beautiful pieces of work.
Right, so that was the video. It was done by Rekam Nusantara Foundation with documentary audiovisual unit in FIS, Indonesia Nature Film Society. Right, so the floor now is, I will give to Ibu Novi of Museum Kapuas Raya. Silahkan Ibu Novi.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Indonesian Heritage Society and Meet the Makers for this opportunity given to me to talk and share about existing of Museum Kapuas Raya and the Dayak Women Weaving Cooperative through the preservation of Dayak Ikat Weaving Tradition Project in Sintang, West Kalimantan, Indonesia. This project, I was very much involved in the year of 2000 to 2010. At the moment, I am actively working at the Yayasan Planet Indonesia, based in Pontianak. Dayak Ikat Weaving Tradition Project was very focused with the Dayak Desa in the district of Sintang, in the province of West Kalimantan. This project implementation is taken to overcome the effects of colonialization, modernization, and the changes within the cultural groups have played a large role in the decline of textile tradition throughout the world, especially in this context, the Dayak Ikat Weaving traditions. The revival of this fading tradition is possible through grassroots development and empowerment work carried by 2 NGOs, Yayasan Kobus and then People Resource Conservation Foundation, working together with the Dayak Desa community in Sintang. And they're so fortunate that time they received funding for foundation for 8 years. This project managed to prove like a method of reviving and strengthening a traditional artistic expression of particular material culture, as well as providing a source of income and empowerment for the woman. Ikat weaving. Ikat weaving has mainly concerned the technique of ikat wrap and weft weaving. The symbols used in the design and their meanings, as well as the spiritual role of weaving. At the former time, besides use in the daily life for skirt, blanket, also to use for ritual ceremonies such as celebration to welcome baby to their own house, as a decoration at the party harvest celebration or gawai, and also use as cloth media to call the spirit of rain when it's dry season. Nowadays, the ikat weaving mainly used as a house wall decoration. At that time, I've been told many times directly by the weavers that at the former time, mostly the weavers, they mostly picky about colors, especially about using natural colors. So the artificial colors was actually is like when they are given no condition to use for not have other resources as a natural colors. The Dayak weaver mainly produced textile using the warp ikat method, woven on the body tension continuous loom, also called a backstrap loom. Traditionally, handspun yarn was prepared for dyeing on the open veranda for their own house. To begin the process of the ikat weaving, the weaver removed all the seeds from the cotton with the use of the cotton. Cotton was handspun into thread placed on a warp, and then the weaver began to tie the pattern into the warp by sectioning off groups of the warp threads. So this warp ikat method technique have been passed down by generation to the next in the community of the Dayak in the Kalimantan, especially in Sintang. One outcome out of the preservation of Dayak Ikat Weaving project is the Women Dayak Ikat Weaving Cooperative known as Jasa Menenun Mandiri in Sintang. This cooperative method is believed by the Ikat project that time can ever to continue and to sustain the weaving activity for the long run. So not only can give advantage for the weaver community that nowadays, but also for the weaver community in the future. The Museum Kapuas Raya is the second outcome of the Ikat Weaving project. The idea was that time to have a repository building, so the people or the project and the weaver community can keep the best of Ikat weaving in the district of Sintang. And then beside that, the purpose of this and then we define it later and then become ethnography museum is a function as a place where to keep the best ikat weaving textile, to display the the harmonious way of living people in Sintang district. And beside that, it is also for educational purposes through bringing students, elementary, junior, and high schools to learn about all the objects there and other cultural and tradition materials that they have in the museum. The process having the museum established involved the Dayak Ikat project itself, the government of Sintang, and the Tropen Museum in Amsterdam, in the Netherlands. The collaboration consists of government of Sintang providing the building and staff working for the museum. And the Tropen Museum was providing technical support, sending consultant for design to help to design the exhibition, sending the consultant to teach how to handling objects or artifacts, and sending consultant for IT. So we have like a database system for the museum. And the Ikat Weaving project itself, representative by Kapuas Foundation, providing objects, because Yayasan Kapuas was very known with the collection of the Dayak community material cultures. And there are about like something about like 600 collection at the moment that this museum display at the moment. Within the establishment of this museum Kapuas Raya, so there's a Catholic couple sign in Nijmegen in Netherlands contacted the Yayasan Kapuas and then Travel Museum related to their intention to bring back their collection of because of lacking in funding to maintain their collection. This collection is about material culture from mainly from Kalimantan, about 3,000 objects and 2,000 collection from Sumatra. And well, we believe that then because they collected these objects or artifacts purposely when they are at the time of their replacement at the colonial time. And at that time, the project for the museum, we managed only to bring back 25 pieces from that collection from them, and now being displayed in the museum. And we also proposed to the local government in Sintang to give idea, but that they have the opportunity to get some object back to Sintang and that can be restored in the museum. But I think the idea was good, but I think the government of Sintang didn't have the money, and because lots of bureaucracy that needs for these processes. So at the moment, at the Museum Kapuas Raya, this building has permanent exhibition rooms, only one floor. It has one exhibition room for textile. It's contemporary textile that produced by the weavers that result from the project, the Ikat project, and also combination the collection from Yayasan Kapuas itself and also from Nijmegen in Netherlands. Besides that, there is also exhibition for living culture, and there's also a exhibition room for history of Sintang. And also there's a hall of photos of exhibition. It's telling about the photos telling about like how the living way of life in the community in Sintang nowadays. And there's also an education center room for students. So that's to allow the student to learn, to watch, or to be what is interactive in the museum. Until now, this museum Kapuas Raya have been able to giving services for the community according to the function and the purpose of the project, together with the government of the Sintang district, because now the museum is totally under the government of Sintang district. In terms of the maintenance, the operation is under the government. And then now it still exists and still, and then the community also actively come and then enjoy the collection that being displayed in the museum. Thank you.
Right, thank you, Ibu Novi, for such inspiring insights. I shall look forward to visit Kapuas Raya Museum. Yeah. I will introduce our next speaker. Our second speaker is Renya Altaria, otherwise known as Ibu Alti. She was born in Bandung, but has been living in Pontianak, West Kalimantan, for the last 35 years, working on the theme of sustainable community livelihood development with the NGO Yayasan Dian Tama. She has been working with Dayak weavers in Kalimantan since 1996. Wow. Along with 4 other NGOs, she was one of the main actors in the establishment of the Crafts Kalimantan network, supporting Dayak craftsmanship in promoting eco-friendly, culture-based livelihoods. She also made the first handbag designs for the Crafts Kalimantan marketing arm, Borneo Chic. She says she is retired, but this is quote-unquote retired, but she in fact continues to be very supportive and consistent in her support for Dayak handmade traditions. She will be speaking on behalf of the Crafts Kalimantan network and covering a lot of ground across the big island of Borneo. All right, Ibu Alti, are you here? Ibu Alti? Yes. Good afternoon, Ibu Alti.
Hi, good afternoon.
How are you? Apa kabar, Ibu?
Baik.
Nice to know that. Good to hear from you. You're looking good as always. So, Ibu Alti, the floor is yours. Silakan, Ibu.
Thank you. Thank you all for choosing to join this webinar on Kalimantan. As we cover a wide network, we will be sharing you of also be ready to respond to any specific questions at the end of the session. We invited French anthropologists with long-term research in Borneo and Borneo art, specifically Dr. Bernard Selato, to join us for this webinar, but he is unable to for health reasons. But we share his assessment in his 2011 book, Plated Art from the Borneo Rainforests, to show you how exceptional this plate work art is globally. We are an initiative of 5 NGOs, Yayasan Diantama, Yayasan Riak Bumi, Koperasi Jasa Menunun Mandiri, all in West Kalimantan, MTFPEP in East Kalimantan, and Yayasan Petak Danum in Central Kalimantan. Yayasan Palung also joined in later years. We work to support Dayak weaving tradition to sustain culture, forest, livelihood. We started as a capacity building and initiative in 2008 and launched a marketing arm, Borneo Chic, on 2011. Now I start to explain a little about Dayak group we work with. The Dayak Iban are found in the northern part of West Kalimantan and also Sarawak, Malaysia. For this presentation, we share photographs from the Iban village of Pengerak or Dusun Kenasau in Jongkong, Kapuas Hulu, bordering on the Sentarum Lake. The Dayak are known for their tattoo, especially the Iban, and the woman known as the best weaver is called Ibok Ajar, and she deserves to have the Tangulun tattoo on her hand as a symbol of her skill and creativity. The Danau Sentarum Lake is 132,000 hectares in size, and the Iban source bemban Donax caniformis, a water reed, on the edge of the lake. The Iban women make strips of the reed to use in weaving intricate mat used in everyday life and in ceremony. Riak Bumi has documented over 100 Dayak Iban motif on bemba mat in their book, Koleksi Tikar Motif Dayak Iban, Collection of Dayak Iban Mat Motif 2012. Here you see the traditional longhouse or rumah panjang in the Dayak Iban language is still common in Kapuas Hulu province. The house features dozens of doors leading to different quarters or for families of one clan. The bemban mat featured in this slide is lampang remang beranyut, or large rolling clouds giving birth to new cloud. Near the district of Kapuas Hulu is Sintang, the location of the museum that Novi spoke about. In addition to textile, the Dayak Desa also make intricate basket made from bamboo, but dyed with fruit from the rattan vine, the Monoropes micracantha. Unfortunately, because of the forest Dayak Bisomu are found in the district of Sanggau in West Kalimantan. They have used the korit and jarai mat for gathering forest and agricultural products. 25 years ago, I started working with the Dayak Bisomu women when I realized potential in their basket, for not only for the local people, but also for those in the city. I found that their weaving
I think Ibu Alti is in mute.
The rattan is made from the species Calamus caesaeus or rattan sega. This korit and jarai basket came from rattan gardens which have been conserved by the local community. Much of the rest of the district has sadly been converted to oil palm plantations. Drawing income from rattan places an incentive in maintaining forest garden as rattan needs to trees a climb. Dayak Benuak are found in the district of Kutai Barat in East Kalimantan. The Dayak Benuak are found in district of Kutai Barat in East Kalimantan. In the district, different villages have different craft skill, from basket to embroidery to ikat, handloom weaving, among other handloom traditions. Many of the Dayak have embraced Christianity, but the Dayak Benuak still perform many healing ceremonies using their shaman, the belian. The Dayak Benuak are also known for the Blontang carved death ceremony statue made of ironwood. Finally, the Dayak Benuak system of rattan garden or simpukg has been very well documented. The Dayak Benuak of the village of Eheng are known for their skill in making rattan basket with distinct black motifs. These are just two examples of motif of Benuak baskets. The one on the left is called Benawa Bingkaas, or broken longboat, drawing from the experience of Dayak navigating the rivers that traverse the island. The second motif is Pakis Jangan Buer, retelling the story of a woman's innocent glance at a swaying fern which caused unfortunate consequences. The Dayak Benuak are also known for their handloom weaving tradition using leaf fiber from the doyo leaf. These are traditionally made into the skirt called ulap doyo. These are made by the Dayak Benuak in the village of Tanjung Isui and Mancong. There are efforts to involve more of the young in the youth cultural movement Lewai Langit, even in making accessories from the doyo fiber. These textiles show the symbolism of lizard or beleekeng, which represent the value of hard work, as the lizard always seem to catch the insect for food. The timang or supernatural tiger motif, incarnation of ancestor on the right, is used during healing ceremony, and it's believed that the timang is called to be fed so that the disease can be lifted from the body of the sick person. There are at least 20 steps in making a tenun doyo or piece of handloom woven doyo fabric. We only have time to show you a few steps in the process. The Dayak Ngaju of Kapuas, Central Kalimantan, have faced difficult time in past years with their rattan gardens being allocated for various government projects such as a 1 million hectare sawah or rice field project, which was not good for the peatland in the area. They wrote this book to share their rattan weaving culture in defense of their land. The Dayak Ngaju are known for the Batanggaring or Tree of Life. This woven mat is used especially during wedding ceremonies and other customary events. The relationship between God, humans, and nature is mirrored in the mat. Now, we start with the story of Crafts Kalimantan and Borneo Chic. The network conduct intervention such as training, quality control, organizational development, participatory certification. In 2011, we launched the brand Borneo Chic and making functional, elegant product made from Dayak craft available in the city. We launched in Inacraft, and in the first year, products sold out, and we were more confident to start a wee business. Though my main work has been a community development worker, I always like to draw, and I started to help design handbags for women using Dayak craft materials. I designed this handbag which won the Inacraft Award in 2010. This made the weaver very proud of their rattan craft too. This inspired me to keep designing, especially if it will benefit the Dayak weavers. These are samples of handbags made in the area I work. These are rattan baskets from the district of Bengkayang and Sanggau made with genuine leather handles. Soon we had a collection of Dayak handbags and a brand Borneo Chic. Here you see some of the handbags in a previous collection. This brings me to the end of my presentation. Thank you for your attention and your concern for Dayak artisans, especially in this time of the global pandemic. Thank you.
Right, thank you very much, Ibu Ati, for this beautiful insights. Foni, is the video ready?
Halo, perkenalkan nama saya Nurhalisa. Saya biasa dipanggil Lisa. Umur saya 22 tahun. Saya pengrajin dari kampung Papas Eheng di Kalimantan Timur. Saya juga bekerja di sekolah di SMP sebagai TU atau tata usaha. Ibu saya adalah seorang pengrajin anjat Dayak Benua. Mama saya sering mewakili pengrajin anjat Dayak Benua di berbagai kegiatan. Mama tetap menganyam, walaupun Mama punya pekerjaan tetap sebagai guru SMP. Saat itu saya masih kecil.
Pada saat saya dulu masih remaja ya, tidak ada usaha lain di kampung ini. Dan orang tua kita juga usahanya menganyam. Jadi otomatis saya harus belajar untuk mencari uang itu dari anyaman. Saya mulai menganyam itu dari tahun 1984. Saya belajar anyaman itu dengan orang tua saya sendiri, dengan ibu saya. Pulang sekolah saya belajar. Saya tidak harus dibimbing gitu. Cuman karena ada anyaman di rumah, ibu saya tinggalkan sebentar, saya pegang gitu. Saya niru dari yang sudah ada, gitu caranya. Saya dulu mulai menganyam itu harga anjat itu 2.500. Sampai sekarang yang sering saya bikin itu dengan harga 70. Tapi saya ingin ada peningkatan lagi, mungkin di bidang pelatihan ya, supaya bisa menghasilkan anyaman itu yang lebih baik lagi dan mereka bisa menuruti kemauan pasar.
Saya juga ikut membantu mama saya ketika mama terlibat membuat buku tentang kerajinan rotan. Di situ saya sangat senang karena bisa membantu mama membuat buku tentang kerajinan kami Dayak Benua. Mama bahkan mewakili Indonesia di IFAM, acara pameran kerajinan internasional yang ada di Amerika. Sekarang Mama sudah tidak ada. Mama meninggal tahun 2017. Saat itu apresiasi untuk Mama muncul di media sosial. Sekarang tanggung jawab saya untuk melanjutkan tradisi kami Dayak Benua. Tradisi yang sudah ada dari generasi ke generasi. Saya juga belajar banyak dari Mama. Saya ingin melanjutkan apa yang sudah dilakukan oleh Mama, yaitu melestarikan dan mempromosikan tradisi dan budaya kami Dayak Benua. Saya semakin sadar betapa pentingnya untuk melestarikan budaya dan tradisi. Dari situ saya belajar tentang adat kami Dayak Benua. Sekarang ini mungkin tidak banyak semua orang masih tahu tradisi dan adat budaya. Seperti Mama, saya juga berkesempatan untuk pergi ke tempat-tempat yang jauh dari kampung saya untuk mempromosikan tradisi kami Dayak Benua. Saya senang mendapat kesempatan ke Kalimantan Utara, bertemu dan bertukar pengalaman dengan sesama pemuda Dayak yang ada di Punan IDU di Kemalinau. Kami bertukar pengalaman budaya tentang makanan hutan dari daerah kami masing-masing. Saya juga sangat senang bisa sampai ke Jakarta mengikuti kegiatan untuk mempromosikan budaya kami Dayak Benua. Mulai dari tarian sampai anyaman rotan kepada orang-orang di kota. Di kegiatan itu saya bisa bertemu dengan pengrajin lain. Bukan hanya dari Kalimantan, tapi juga dari pulau lain seperti Sumatera dan Papua. Pengalaman-pengalaman itu membuat saya semakin semangat untuk terus menganyam. Sekarang ini selain membuat anjat, saya juga sedang mengembangkan aksesoris dari rotan seperti gelang, anting, dan kalung. Sebagai pengrajin muda, saya berharap kedepannya pemuda dan pemudi di kampung saya juga ikut tertarik untuk mulai menganyam juga. Saya berharap kerajinan anjat yang ada di kampung saya ini bisa lebih maju lagi dan semakin dikenal.
Thank you, terima kasih. Thank you for sharing such a beautiful and inspiring video, Miss Lisa. But before we get to her next presentation, let's get to know her better. So Miss Lisa is a young Dayak weaver from the village Pepes Eheng, Kutai Barat, East Kalimantan. She also works at junior high school. She carries on the legacy of weaving from her mother, a recognized Dayak rattan anjat basket weaver. The anjat is considered a rainforest backpack, sturdy enough to carry food and forest materials in and out of the forest without losing its shape and fading in color. That's what we need, right? Lisa will share with us a 5-minute film about her weaving history and then share a little on how they get dramatic black color on their rattan anjat baskets, which we saw. And after this, we will hear more from Miss Lisa. Ibu Lisa sudah siap untuk presentasinya?
Ya, perkenalkan, nama saya Lisa. Saya pengrajin dari kampung Pepas Eheng.
I'm a weaver from the village of Eheng in East Kalimantan.
Nggak bisa.
Oke, lanjutkan.
Ini adalah rumah kami.
This is our house. Lamin is the name of the long house in Dayak Benua. Today, I'm going to speak about the simpukg or the rattan forest gardens, as well as dyeing in natural black color. What is this rattan forest garden? The simpukg or lembo has a lot of fruits and also plant rattan species and many large trees. Please move to the next slide. This is an example of rotan sega, Calamus. This is the species that we are using to make our rattan basket. In the simpukg or rattan forest garden is not only rattan, but many different kinds of fruits, fruit trees, large trees, and small cottages or old houses of Dayak families in past times. Just like you see in this photo, different kinds of fruits in there, and there are many other different kinds of fruit trees that are found. And one non-timber forest product that we get from our forest garden is rattan. This is an example of our anjat rattan basket. There are two colors. The white is the natural color of the rattan itself, while the black color, we use a natural dye. And we use different kinds of materials, which I will explain. The leaves of the sopak piang, piak, and kodoy, the skin and from rambutan and also from jengkol, and the down and the leaves of other species, as well as the charcoal from the kitchen. The process that is taken is written on the screen. I won't repeat as she's reading what is written on the screen.
Terus di pagi hari, rawai diangkat, lalu dicuci bersih. Habis itu, rawai digantung di tempat yang gelap selama setengah jam. Jika rawai kurang hitam, rawai bisa direbus kembali dan direndam kembali selama 1 jam. Rawai siap untuk dianyam. Itu dulu dari saya.
Maybe we can hear from Pak Valentinus first, the question.
Halo.
Ya, selamat siang.
Selamat siang, Ibu.
Terima kasih.
Saya mau tanya ke Ibu Novia Sagita. Ya, saya tahu sebetulnya pasti akan ada tantangan ya dalam pengembangan anyaman tenun ikat ya, terutama di Sintang dan daerah-daerah lain juga seperti itu. Nah, di presentasi tidak disampaikan, mungkin Novi bisa menjelaskan ke kita kira-kira apa saja tantangan-tantangan yang dihadapi dalam proses pengembangan tenun ikat di Sintang terutama ya. Dan mungkin pembelajaran apa yang bisa diambil dari pengalaman-pengalaman yang lakukan selama ini. Saya kira itu ya pertanyaan saya untuk Novia. Terus saya mau tanya satu hal lagi ke Ibu siapa yang terakhir?
Ibu Lisa.
Ibu Lisa, saya mendengar penjelasan tentang simpukg itu hampir sama dengan apa yang kami istilahkan di Dayak, di Kalimantan Barat, di Dayak Iban itu tembawai atau tembawang. Apakah pengertian itu sama dengan tembawai atau tembawang di Kalimantan Barat? Saya kira itu saja dulu pertanyaan dari saya. Terima kasih.
Silahkan Ibu Novi.
Last year, I was attending this Dayak Weaving seminar that organized by the Museum Kapuas Raya in Sintang, and also got kind of similar question as well. And then actually this, I'm going to expand. There are 3 challenges actually. Like, I don't know, for my opinion so far, that I've been working for this work for quite some time. So, but I think these three things that I'm going to explain, that I think they've been been the challenges, been the challenging us for this whole time. The first one is like the challenge is that how to know the market of this our commodity, the textile, the ikat textile. The market is like there's a segmentation in the market of this. What is like the local, the national, or the international? Okay, because what we are talking here is a product of a commodity, of a product of material culture. So I think this title is pretty, make it a little bit what is exclusive of this commodity. This is and then it sounds as elite, sounds elite of this product. This is also like become the challenge for us, how to market this, because when we are talking about market, so we are talking about prices too. So okay, knowing about market, like local market, national market, international market, and knowing about the commodity itself, as the product of material culture. So I think that is the challenge that we have to have. I think this is like we know that this is that's the homework that we have to do all along. But okay, of course we know so much about this material culture, this textile, because it's traditional. The tradition is part of the culture, is part of the woman dirty. It's about something that the Dayak community proud of. But we have to be realistic. When we put something into a market, it's a commodity called commodity. So that is the reality that we have to face. And the second is, I think also we are not really realistic enough about this our product. Like maybe like all of the NGOs have to work together, sit together, mapping out the problems to see the strength, the weaknesses, the potential of the products, because since this is a product of material culture, that there's some weaknesses, some potential, there's some, all this, the entitling, lots of indication and aspects. And then the third is like, we never know. I asked once, I was talking to Pak Sugiman, the manager of the weaving cooperative in Sintang, like if the cooperative ever know what is community wants, actually, not the community that the weavers, but the community in Sintang wants, exactly, from the product, in terms of the prices, in terms of the function, because to be realistic, mostly end up on the buying this material is also, and mostly end up as the running table or cushion, but nothing. But perhaps and then these three challenges that I think that so far that I recognize through my discussion with the weaving cooperative in Sintang. And then like I was thinking, like, what about if like we do again like a survey again, like involve a different layers in the community, what exactly this community can go, like to be realistic, and then so we can know how we can provide a market for this commodity. Or maybe there is market, but we just don't know how to set it up. But maybe there is a market that we have to set it up, or maybe there is market that we don't know there. So that's what I'm thinking. So the next plan, because my organization and the weaving cooperative in Sintang, we working together closely. In a couple months, we are going to invite some organization that working in the crafts, like in the weaving products in West Kalimantan, to get together, sit together, and then talk together about this problem, and then try to mapping out all the problems, and to find out the strength, the weaknesses, the potential, the challenges, and then be realistic about this commodity. I think that's the first thing that we have to know, because I think this product is going, it's losing the interest of the markets, and especially as after this pandemic time, and also this millennial time, this like how this product can be revival, can be preserved for another 100 years. So I don't know, but I think we as the practitioners or people who cares about this product, I think we have to sit together to be realistic, to see this the challenges, the potential in the future. But at the moment, I don't really have right answers for this, but I think I just can explain what I think, what I can see from my experience. Thank you.
Thank you for the explanation. We have the next question from Mr. Lewa Pardomuan. Yes, Pak Lewa.
Hi, hello.
Right. Please introduce yourself. Thank you.
My name is Lewa. I'm based in Singapore. I collect Indonesian textiles. Aku ada pertanyaan untuk Ibu Novi dan Ibu Alti. Jadi selama ini kesulitan saya sebagai kolektor adalah mendapatkan informasi mengenai kain-kain Iban dan anak sukunya di Kalimantan Barat. Jadi yang saya pelajari adalah selain suku Iban, ada juga suku Ketunggal, Mualang, Desa, dan juga Kantu. Pertanyaan saya adalah, apakah ada rencana untuk menerbitkan buku yang komprehensif mengenai kain-kain tenun Iban dan anak sukunya? Itu pertanyaan pertama. Pertanyaan kedua adalah mengenai motif. Karena selama ini sudah ada, terutama yang di Sarawak misalnya, itu mereka mencoba mengerti motif-motif.
Lewa's question is about the textiles from different ethnic groups. He has gotten some from the Iban group.
Kalau disebutkan ini motif, misalnya
but he is asking about different ethnic groups, such as the Kantuk and others. He'd like to hear more about them. His second question is about documentation that he has received. He showed a book written by the cooperative along with a Dutch priest, and he's asking, can we really believe and have faith in the background of the meanings behind what is written in this book? Can we already believe what is written?
Before we give to Ibu Novi first. Ibu Novi, silakan.
Thank you for the question. Yeah, I totally agree with you. I think Iban, especially Iban in Sarawak, I think they've been wonderful, doing wonderful job. How they are documenting their material culture, especially the weaving textile of the Dayak community there. I think, Sarawak now, long time already, like very in advance, like they about documenting and about, keeping this material culture, like something that they can proud of and to be preserved. Okay, I have no idea about the coming books of Iban, but I think especially the book of the weaving from Sintang. But I think the book that you showed us was like, I think the last book that I know that being produced by the Craft Council from National Craft Council in Jakarta. I think that book is really well done but nicely by the people who came to that area. It's very nice done. And I don't know who's going to produce for the next book, Once I was also had a dream in my head. I had one dream book in my head, but I never realized it because 7 years ago I was start to make one textile ikat big. The last slide I showed you, that was the textile I made by myself. I was thinking like to produce like about 30 pieces of textile and then make a book about it, tell about the whole story about it. But that's my dream. Until now, I don't have time enough yet for that. Talking about the motif, yeah, the motif, okay. This is interesting about the motif of the Dayak weaving textile. I think for me, from long time, I think it's not so, it's not really, what is it, like, so essential, you know, like it has to be like a precise, like the name of the motif has to be like, you know, like a standard, the name of the motif and the explanation. Because what I understood, this motifs is belong to a community, and which is being passed down, you know, orally, like to be honest about, like to be like act like a standard. But I think that is not fair too, because for example, for the Dayak and for the Dayak, even in Upper Kapuas district, I love the weavers there. You know, like they very, I can say the weavers there, they're totally pure, like a really real, what is it, artists. You know, like real artists. Like they saw how they what is it, very complicated about how they preserve this weaving tradition. You know, like I collected a lot of stories also when I was very much doing this textile work, the weaving textile work. Yeah, so, you know, like there were a lot of weavers in the Iban community. When they die, many of them, they bring together the textile that they produce. They bring together with them when they die, and then because they ask them to be buried with them. And then some of them, many of them, there's no one recorded what was the meaning of, or the motif in the textile. I took a lot of photos, but yeah, but it's just like a, but I don't think there's a standard for the name of the name, because since this is communal, this is what I believe. This is communal. It's not belong to one person. It's belong to a communalist community of the Dayak weavers. But to I think what is the weaving cooperative is doing now in Sintang is already pretty enough. Like when they're selling the product, they have the tag and the explanation with the tag of the explanation of the motif and the colors and the name of the weavers and the name of the village where the weavers come from. I think that's strong enough to tell the, what is it, the identity of the motif or the textile itself. I think what is the weaving cooperative is doing is, I think that is pretty strong enough. That's my opinion. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Thanks.
We have to go back first to Pak Heri. Earlier, Pak Heri also have a question to Lisa, yeah, to Miss Lisa, about the simpukg. Is it similar to tembawang of West Kalimantan?
Forest that I'm speaking of has many forest fruit trees. Within this rattan forest gardens, there are also houses or cottages from previous families. About tembawang that I've heard about from the Dayak Ibang, I'm not sure if it's the same, but I know how to explain the own system that we have.
Jadi seperti kasusnya di tempat orang Iban, ya, itu orang dulu suka pindah-pindah tempat ya, dari satu tempat ke tempat lain karena beberapa alasan. Misalnya karena banyak sekali yang mati ketika di rumah panjang itu pada waktu yang bersamaan. Mereka bilang rumah hangat. Nah, itu alasan mereka pindah. Atau mereka pikir, oh susah cari binatang buruan atau ikan, mereka akan pindah. Atau rumah terbakar, karena rumah panjang sehingga mudah sekali terbakar. Ya. Nah, waktu mereka pindah, itu kan ada
For
bekas.
the Dayak Iban, there are many reasons why we would move, like if there's a forest fire and other reasons. So there's also fruits that have been planted by the families. We call this tembawai. So I think it's quite similar to the forest gardens that is being mentioned by Bu Lisa.
If you don't mind, I will go back to Pak Heri. Pak Heri perhaps can also help us. Earlier, Mr. Lewa asked about motif.
Oh ya.
Ya, later.
Terima kasih. Pak Lewa, jadi kami sebetulnya pernah membuat buku bemban.
So Harry is explaining, as a Dayak Iban, that we have made a book on motifs for the woven mat, bemban, with 100 motifs. Most Dayak Iban look at motifs that are in handloom woven textiles and then apply it to hand-woven mats. And that is the same for the bemban hand-woven mats. We have compiled 100 motifs into one book. When we ask about the meanings of the motif, each person we ask seems to have a little bit of a different explanation. So we need to confirm and validate with different people until we can arrive at the meaning, or maybe it has multiple meanings as well.
Kemungkinan juga dalam penjelasannya, kalau tidak tertulis seperti yang Ibu Novi bilang, akan.
Much of this is not written. So if we hear about it from different people, from the weavers also, their knowledge and understanding is different from weaver to weaver, and especially about the motifs. Sometimes they say they forget, or their mother didn't really tell them about that specific motif, or they have passed away and the knowledge has not been passed on. So this can be the reason for different understandings of motifs. So we do have copies of the book of the bemban motifs in our office in Bogor. That's what Harry is saying, if anyone is interested.
Silakan, Ibu Alti, perhaps you like to give the closing statement.
Thank you for joining the webinar of Kalimantan. Hope you enjoyed it and then you can help the weaver by buying our product. Thank you.
Thank you for joining this webinar series 3. It's such a great opportunity sharing all the experience working with the community, working with the craft that's belong to the community. And I hope that from the shared knowledge can be inspired for all of us and to make our work become better and better.
Ya, terima kasih atas kesempatannya. Saya bisa bercerita tentang kerajinan kami Dayak Benua. Terima kasih.
Terima kasih.
After this, we will hear a closing statement from Miss Anne Ambler, the co-chair literature of Indonesian Heritage Society. Hi, Miss Anne.
Yeah, that was a wonderful tour. Thank you, through Kalimantan, with its wonderful artistry and the women who preserve it and continue it. I was really impressed. And the Indonesian Heritage Society would like to add its thanks to everyone who has participated this afternoon. It was a great afternoon. We do hope the lives of the artists will improve, and we thank Meet the Makers who are persevering with their invaluable help to artists like this in Kalimantan, but also all over Indonesia. And a massive thank you to the audience. Thank you very much for coming along. Your support and your sympathy for these struggling artists is much appreciated. So with a final universal thank you, let me hand you back to Mariene. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Anne. Fantastic. So let's all of us continue preserving this exquisite art, culture, and knowledge, of course.